Thank you. The next announcement I'd like to make, ladies and gentlemen, again, it relates to finance. And that is, as you may recall, that we had announced in the budget, which is on page 52 of the speech we gave, that we were going to give an amnesty for 6 months for the declaration of assets owned by Fijians offshore. Now, the reason why we did that was because obviously some of these Fijians had gone off and, for example, bought property offshore. Some of it may have been bought by funds that weren't declared that they were leaving the country. And we in fact got the impetus from Australia year before last, and last year they had actually had an amnesty too, where they said that there won't be any penalties for people who declare their assets offshore. And in fact, I think they had in their case something like about $7 billion of assets that were declared by Australians that in fact they had offshore, which was not known by the Australian Taxation Office. We had given 6 months. Today I'd like to make the announcement that the extension will go on now until the 15th of October. We have had so far about $13.5 million worth of assets have been declared by Fijians who hold it offshore that had not been previously declared. Now, so this extension is until the 15th of October. We're giving people more time. A lot more people are finding the will now to come forward and declare these assets. But I'd also like to make an announcement that any declaration of assets will not incur any penalties, as has been stated in the budget. Any declaration of assets will not incur any fines or any charges. I'd also like to make it clear that any declaration of any assets will not raise any assessable income from that. What I mean by that, so for example, if somebody owns a flat in downtown Auckland, they bought 3 years ago and they're renting it out, if they declare that, we're not going to say, okay, you need to pay us income tax on that amount of money that you've earned. So we're going to go back and say, well, you bought it in 2011, in 2012 you earned $80,000 rent from it, you have to pay 20% or whatever it is of that as tax. We're saying that we're also giving amnesty on that. It's only assessable income on any income derived from those assets going forward. So this will also enable people to actually declare their assets, so they know that they're not necessarily be caught in a bind. So if I'm owning not me personally, of course, but if she owns a flat in downtown Auckland and she's receiving $100,000 rent a year from that apartment, there won't be any tax on that. But from 2016, as soon as you declare this year, there will be any going forward, there'll be taxes on that, on income derived. So it makes it a lot easier for people. So I want to assure all those people who have assets offshore, please feel free to come forward and declare your assets. If you don't and we discover, there will be very, very heavy penalties. So this is an amnesty period where you can declare all your assets offshore. There won't be any taxable income, any taxable charges on it. There won't be any penalties, nothing. You just simply need to declare. Only going forward will there be any, what do you call chargeable income will be assigned to that. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is the announcement we'd like to make. There will obviously be a practice note that will be issued by FIRCA that will set out very clearly, so everybody will be assured that no penalties, etc., will be assessed on that. It obviously applies to Fijian citizens who have assets offshore. It does not apply to Fijian residents. So obviously sometimes there are people who may not be Fijian citizens, but who are living in Fiji, say have been living in Fiji for the past 4 or 5 years and they're paying taxes here. They may return to their home countries. We don't want to know about that because it creates a lot of complications. So this is only applicable to Fijian citizens who are paying taxes in Fiji and who have assets offshore. It only applies to them. And a practice note, like I said, will be issued, and the extension is now until the 15th of October, and we hope that this number will hopefully increase about 7-fold from $13.5 million. Thank you.